Hello, listeners. Hi, my name is Madhavi, and I'm so happy to have you on UppTalk. You have come to the right place if you want to learn about IT and do really cool things with your hands. We are not just another IT company when I say UppTalk. Think of us as your learning partner dedicated to helping you reach your full potential. We have top notch hands on courses to help you build your business, whether you are new to technology or want to move up in your current job. Let's look around this as our first step towards learning.
We'll talk about provisioning failures. If you have any provisioning failure, how we can check, how we can handle. Quickly, I'll cover that. And we'll start with events, lifecycle events, JMML, join, move lever. You can go to Administrator Console. Come to this Provisioning tab. Each and every provisioning related thing, it will be here. Whether it's LCM and via LCM, you're going to provide any access using the out-of-the-box workflow, or are you going to provide or revoke any access via certification? Each and every activity will be stored under this. Like as of now, I have only failure provisioning. I don't. I'm not able to see any success and pending because I haven't configured. Only I have configured for failure 1. This is a default feature. I have to enable for each and every remaining operations as well. Success pending each and everything. Here we have a couple of things. We'll talk about that. If there is a requirement, if you want to prepare a report based on this provisioning failure, then select failure and you can select this. It will download. You can view the report directly because client keep on. They will ask about access request and provisioning failure report. You can download this automated provisioning transaction object report ID something. One thing, it will download. Meanwhile, this is related to reports. It will report page only. Another option. If any provisioning failure, we have how we can click on the trace, how we can move. Right. We'll talk about that quickly. I have this failure. Failure means that provisioning has been clearly failed. Nothing is going to happen, but you have a situation. It has to be provided manually. But you have to manually provide this access in that scenario. You can assign to application owner or assign to some other. You can select that identity. Let's say I send the application owner only. You can override. It will generate some manual work item, which means it's like a work item will be generated. It will be forwarded to application owner. Now manual work item for this transaction successfully created. Now as a SailPoint admin, we have full access. We can check the work item as well. My work item. Here you can check some manual changes requested for Aaron Nicholas. That was the username Aaron Nicholas. Here you can check what this work item will do. It will forward it to its manager. They have to provide the access manually. It's like a manual change request. They are going to provide manually or they are going to add automatically. We don't consider that. Just this work item will forward to the application team. They have to add. They have to provide this access. This is what it means. Override means. Override means some failure happened. You are going to override that failure. This is one thing. Second, go to Administrator Console. Some provisioning transaction. It's not failed, but it's keep on retry something. I don't have to show that. Here you will be able to see some retry option. You can click on the retry. What it will do, it will again go for the provisioning. It will retrieve something like that. We have two important options. One is override, another one is retreat. I'm not able to find any retry option. These two things I would like to show. You can capture all the provisioning transaction over here. All failure, success, each and everything. Let me tell you from where we can enable this success and pending. Go to Global Settings. Go to Identity Configuration. Go to this one. My Chilean is down. Here we have a provisioning transaction log settings. Here we have selected failure. That is the reason each and everything. We are able to see only failure related provisioning transaction. The moment you are going to select success, it will show success transaction, failure transaction, each and every transaction it will show. From now onwards, if any provisioning is going to happen, each and every activity will be stored there. That's what it means. Important one is override and retry option. We have some filter option also in the provisioning transaction. Based on some identity, based on some events, you can capture the data. Go to Administrator Console. Provisioning. If you want any information related to this provisioning, you can click on this I button and you'll be able to see all what is the error. Error written from IQ services, the object already exists. The object which trying to create it, it's already exists. Something like that. What is the operation? Each and every detail will be there. Related to that particular provisioning, you can capture. And apart from override retrieve from the source, you can check if we are going to remove any access via certification. Last time we have done, we tried to do that. For Aaron Nicholas, we tried to remove this early action. First time it got failure because the error occurred while deleting the account. Some error is there. Because of that, we got this error. Each and every activity will be stored here. You can use this filter option to select any particular event like delete, disable, enable something for a particular application. Or particular source is going to be batch or certification or any identity refresh, LCM policy violation, something like that. Each and everything will be there and you can utilize the data as well. Any question from this? These are reports, right? These are reports, right? The reports and everything. No, it's not like that report. We can capture all the data. We can get all the data related to provisioning transactions. Whatever provisioning has happened, we can capture. And sometimes client will say, for this time to this time, Periodically, they will ask about all the provisioning transaction. In that scenario, you can click on this button. It will redirect to report space and it will download. It will generate. If you are clear, then we'll talk about events. LCM. This provisioning we have covered. Basically, I'm asking if any employee is going to join any company, what will happen? Basically, quickly, can anyone tell? They'll get credentials. They'll collect all the data. Right. After that, they are onboarded. After that, provide some provisions. Whenever any employee is going to onboard, basically these other things will happen. HR will collect all the information. They will update in their portal. Aggregation will happen. Each and every identity will be created in SailPoint, which means they all. The employee has basic access to SailPoints. That's one thing, which means the beginning, the HR portal, they are going to update. They will get SailPoint access that they can submit access requests. They can do some basic things. That's one thing. They have a system they need to log in. In that scenario, client will say, we are going to provide some basic access, Active Directory access that they can log into that Windows system. Active Directory and Windows, some integration will happen. We will provide some Active Directory access as well. Apart from Active Directory, what are the important access to work based on their job function, based on the requirement? We will provide some basic access like some HR portal access will be providing. You guys have seen right to apply the leaves to check each and everything employee information. Some portal will be there. Each and everything we will provide access. From SailPoint perspective, what are the access we can provide and we can automate those process. We'll plan something. We'll interact with client and we'll prepare something. These many application access we are going to provide whenever employee is going to join. The moment the employee details is going to update in the HR portal on the same day, each and every access will be provided, not manually. It's an automated process. To automate those process, we will use this LCM events. Joiner, mover, leaver. Basically, we'll say those are called LCM events. Joiner is responsible whenever employee is going to join. We will provide some basic access on the same day. Within 1 hour or 2 hours, each and every access will be provided and email will get triggered. Yesterday, we have seen right on the fourth sub workflow is responsible to trigger the email. It will trigger with credentials. It's all about joiner. Leaver. Whenever employee is going to leave the company on the same day, all access will be removed. We have to automate those processes. We have to build some custom workflow to remove all those access. Whatever access user will have, we have to remove. That's all about leaver. Mover means employee is going to leave from one department to another department. In that scenario, whatever currently has access, we will remove those access and we will provide access based on some new department. This is all about JML. Basically, we are going to deal with access and no one is going to submit any access request. Nothing is going to happen. Whenever in the moment in the HR portal, they are going to update something. Whether they can update the employee details, in that scenario, joiner event will get triggered. The moment they are going to remove anything or they are going to remove any attribute, in that scenario, lever and mover will happen, basically. Because all the clients will prefer to automate this provisioning. Because the moment they are going to join, we are not going to provide the entire application access. Basically, we will add some specific entitlement. We can do two things. We can provide those entitlements via roles, or else we can create some custom workflow. Via custom workflow, we can provide using this LCM event. For any questions, no, right? Meaning, no, I am good. We will talk about one by one. Let's say employee has joined some company. HR collected all the information. Now they are going to update in some portal. And quickly we check which file. Let's go to application. Delimiter 2 file we have. Which one? I am not sure. It will take time. I think this is the file. Let me check. HR, what they will do? They will update the employee details. Let's say I am going to add. Three employee details. Let's say last name. It's going to be location, Austin location. I have mentioned, same as Navin. They randomly have given VNC2, C3D, they are going to be the manager. Each and every detail will be triggered. I have to mention full name also. These are the things HR will do basically. In their portal, they will update. The same email ID I have to mention. If you want, you can update in your system in your local lab, or else you can leave as it is. These are the things it's not required. Some employee info has to be there. That's it. I have mentioned all the things. We have created some 3 employees. Yaman and Vinay Navan Rama something. Quickly check. This is the right file. I was talking about this one yesterday. Did I explain about this incident code? If we get these kind of incident code, 739 quickly where we can check. Sometimes if you are trying to access anything in that scenario you will end up with these kind of error incident code. 739 definitely it will be there. This is not related to joiner mover lever events, LCM events. This is different one. Or else I will do one thing. I will make a note. I will explain later. It's taking time. Let me start my service. As I have learned my system, let me try to search. One employee info is not there. Rama employee info is not there. Navin employee info is not there. Now we have updated. HR has updated in the portal. Let me quickly check whether this is the right application or not. After that, we proceed. Quickly select this people's HR application. Because I have two applications, I'm getting confused to which one is the right one. Let me check the file. Go to Configuration. Auth Employees. This is the right one. Auth Employees. We have updated 3 employee information. Let me save this file. I have updated for this employee information. Close that. I need to reconfirm again whether it has been updated or not. Vinay and Nevin Rama. HR has updated this information. Now usual account aggregation will happen. Now it's not scheduled one. I'm going to execute manually. It's going to be people's account aggregation. Save and execute. Go to task results. People's account aggregation has done. Via this aggregation, 3 identities has been created. Here you can check. Identity created 3. Vinay, Nevin, Rama. These 3 employees have been created, which means they got some basic SailPoint access. Now also day 1, they can log in and they can check. Usually each and every day, refresh identity cube will execute. That task will refresh their identities. Now I'm going to refresh that identity as well. Instead of executing for all 3 people, what I'll do? I'll quickly execute for the single identity. I don't execute for the entire cube. Bet you can learn. Open that spreadsheet. I'm going to use this first name dot last name because this is going to the username. Use the pipeline to add for second identity and for third identity as well. Let me update. Again, I'm saying I'm not going to refresh for the entire identity. If you want, you can do it. No issue. Go on verification, whether it's right or wrong. Name Vinay Austin space double pipeline. Name and enter. Each and everything is right. It may update the same. In this task, in the refresh identity cube task, we will be having one name called process events. This has to be checked always. What it will do if any events is going to. If you want to trigger any event based on some attribute change or based on some addition or removal, this checkbox will do. This checkbox has to be checked. Process events. Usually in real-time project, we will be having 3 type of refresh task. One refresh task which will be responsible to refresh identity. In that task, it won't be checked. It will be disabled. We'll be having one more task in that particular task will be responsible only to trigger this kind of events. Let me execute this task. I have selected 3 identity name. Save and execute. What it will do? It will start the trigger in the back end. Some changes will happen in the identity. Some trigger snapshot will trigger in the back end and it will process the events. Now you can go to task results and you can check open that. And you'll come to know 3 events processed. Here you can check 3 events has been processed. Now you can open those identities. Now you can check. Let me open this van identity. Go to event staff. You'll come to know some identity. Some joiner event has been triggered from this event. You can check what time the event has been triggered. Go to setup. Go to task. Go to task results. It's pending. It's running, which means currently the same. You can check for Rama. It's already been executed. Plus 3 event has been executed Rama for Navin also. Not sure. The joiner event. Which event has been executed? Did you take? Already we have created in the back. In the back end, we have some explaining the process. After that, I'll open. Why have? Which workflow has been triggered? How we can create some custom event build document. These three things are there. It will take a time. Meanwhile, I'll explain. It's clear, right? Foreign it out. This is how the process is going to happen. SailPoint admin perspective. Usually will happen. Employee info will be updated in the HR portal. Usually day-to-day aggregation will happen. Refresh identity will happen. It will be executed as part of that. Some even bigger trigger. Why are that? Even you said we get the basic access, basic adjustments, whatever access, it could be basic or high privilege access. Client will decide we are not the one. Some workflow in the back end of the workflow to get it will provide access basically. That's what it means. It will take some time to get it complete. Meanwhile, I'll explain. Go to set up local lifecycle events. Employee has joined now. It's responsible for a joiner event. You can open that. In this joiner event, this is the default one. If you don't, we can create another event aspect. This is joiner event here. Event type is create, which means whenever the entire line is going to update in the spreadsheet, or else in the portal if they are going to update any new line related to employee. This event will get triggered. This is included for all identity. If you want to trigger for some particular identity or any script based on some condition, then you can use this option. But usually, most of the time, it will be all because some new employee is going to join. The event will be applicable for all identity. Here I have mentioned some joiner, but ready workflow. I could have used some basic out-of-the-box workflow as well, like lifecycle event joiner. But I have created a custom workflow and have combined this. Let me open that workflow and one by one I'll explain. Meanwhile, we'll check whether it's completed or not. The same. You can create a number of events for create leave. Create event joiner, mover, leaver, rehire. Some native change detection. You can create a number of things. For that, each and everything, you have to create some custom workflow. Here we have joiner, but ready workflow. This is the workflow name. Let me open the workflow. What it will do, I'll explain. Go to workflow object. The name is joiner. We have a workflow. This is the custom workflow which have given. These are the variable names, each and everything I have captured from the existing one only. Here the start process is going to happen. Create birthright plan. The transition name. Here what have done? I have captured all the classes. Import class statement I have captured from the Java doc. You can say I have captured each and everything from there. I have mentioned some log statement because I need to know whether whatever values I'm going to pass, it's passing or not. I have mentioned each and everything. Here I have captured the name identity name because already we have an identity name variable. It will capture the value automatically. No need to create any different object. Here you can see we have a variable name called identity name. We can use the same. No need to create any other object and we can capture some data from some place like context object. It's not required. Usually here I'm going to capture the provisioning plan. Basically, based on the provisioning plan, only each and every activity will happen. Yesterday, I have shown provisioning plan. It's going to compile the provisioning plan and it will generate some approval, build approvals at each and everything. Based on that, it will trigger. I have captured some provisioning plan using this object. And after that, I have created one identity object from identity class. I'm going to capture this. If you're new to Java, it would be very difficult to understand. I have created one object name called identity object. And I'm going to capture the details from this identity class. Basically, you can say from the debug page, you can select an object browser identity from there. I can capture something like that. I have mentioned some log.error that I'll come to know. Whatever identity I'm going to update in the HR application, whether it's operating or not. That is the purpose. I have added this log error. And if identity object and its attribute is inactive is not equal to, which means employee is active, we can put a number of conditions here. Like if the employee type is permanent, then only we are going to provide AD access. If employee type is contracted, then we won't provide this access. Something like that. We can play with attribute, a number of attributes. If employee belongs to some location, let's say if identity.get attribute instead of inactive attribute, I can use location attribute. Based on the requirement, I can say if location is not equal to Austin or Singapore, then we won't provide this access. Based on attribute, only we can decide. This attribute we can check with client. Most of the time it will be employee type is permanent. Then we will provide AD access. Something like that. You can say, based on some condition, we are going to provide this access. Here, first I'll create some AD account because I'm going to build some custom workflow. This is not out of the box function. If it is out of the box, as I have shown, it will create the account automatically. Now I'm going to create AD account. For that I need to use this account request object I need to create. And here operation I have to set as create and I have to set the application name AD. Where I can capture this detail, I can capture from this provisioning plan. The same, I'm going to add some activity also because I need to create some account. To create account, I need this am account name. I need to primary group DNN. Always it will be domain users in Active Directory. This is going to be the default group. I'm going to provide. Here I'm going to select object type as user. If it is service account, then we can have more condition. We can add and we can provide. The password also I have set. For I have created one AD account. Here I'm going to add some birthright groups. Which group you would like to add? As of now, I have added some domain computers group. If you want, you can add some entitlement and you can add some rules also. I'm not sure 100% about the rules, but we can add, I think, but in that element 100% we can add. After that, the status also have checked. Using the same thing in the account request I'm going to add. This is the account request object I have created here. In this account request object, I'm going to add each and every details like first name, last name. Status, something like I'm going to add each and every detail that I can create some account and add some groups. That's the purpose. In this account request, I'm going to add each and everything and I'm going to commit to the database or commit to the target system. Something like return to plan. This is what I have written basically. What it will do, this purpose code, it will create some code and it will add some birthright. It will add some entitlement and some groups to the user that they can get some target application access. After that, here we have a step code compile project. It will start from that one exactly. From first workflow, it will start sub workflow. Let me quickly check whether it's been completed or not. It's been completed, which means joiner event has been success. Let me check for other identities also. And after that, we'll go to the target system and we'll check. Let me check joiner. Vinay Austin, it's success. Rama, it's success. Namin also, it's success. Which means these 3 people today has joined the company and they have got some AD access within half an hour. I can see. Which means they can log in into their system. Now itself, all 5 sub workflow has been created. Provisioning has happened after the 4th sub workflow will call and it will trigger an email to the user and requester. 5th workflow, some access request is generated. It will complete. If it is a batch request, it will complete, which means basically it will end the process. Now go to user here. No identity is there. Name and from here to here, nothing is there. In the research, Vinay is not there. Namin is not. I'll refresh this tab and you'll come to me. Now Vinay Austin account has been created. If you want, you can go to member of tab. Domain computers is the birthright group birthright entitlement that he can have something. That's what I have given. This domain user is a default group. That one also I have mentioned in the workflow. Let me try to search here for Namin. You can open. Some group has been added like domain computers, domain users. Both the groups has been added. The same 2 groups here I have mentioned in the workflow custom workflow. Domain users and domain computers. Instead of domain computers, you could have add any other entitlement as well to the target system since it's Active Directory. I will be able to add only groups. Let me search for Rama. Identity has been created for Rama also. Same 2 groups has been created by a birthright provision. This is how joiner event is going to trigger. Any doubt? This joiner event. And I'd like to add one more step. After refresh, IdentityIQ events will be processed right. Between that aggregation and refresh IdentityIQ. In identity, something will happen. Some trigger snapshot will be generate something like this. Why are these trigger snapshots? Some event will be processed. If I'm going to check now, it won't be there. For next event, I'll show what is this trigger snapshot like native change reduction. For each and every event, some trigger snapshot will be generated. Related to, for this one, this is related to native change. This is related to Active Directory. Someone is going to create any account. Some trigger snapshot will be generated, something like this. In the next event, I'll show. This is a workflow you were showing. The same workflow I have. But you were showing something in XML, right? I mean something else you were showing, right? Which I just missed. Can you come again? I'm saying that the part from Buffalo, you were showing something else as well. The events and everything was written. You're talking about the LCM events. Joiner, you were showing some XML, right? On Notepad right now. I guess apart from workflow, this one here. What is this snapshot? After aggregation, some trigger snapshot will be added into the identities. They're going to object browser. If you're going to select this identity, this trigger snapshot will happen. Where this trigger snapshot, some events will be created. You can capture this value. If it is a native change reduction, what kind of changes they have made them, the backend. Clearly, it will come to know based on this trigger snapshot. Events will be, this is related to events. You can think like that. Why have captured these things? Because keep on. I'll be trying. Go to task. I was working on that. Each and every time I won't be able to update employee information in the feed file. To avoid that, what I will do, I'll capture this trigger snapshot. I will add it in the identity group. Very often, I can test. I can do my test. That's what it. These many failures mean each and every time I won't update the employee information over there. What I'll do, I'll capture the trigger snapshot first time. And for next testing, I'll use that same for any identity. Where do you find these snapshots? Where are these captures? It will be under we go to debug page, open any identity. Let's say Vinay. Here, some trigger snapshot will be under this entity. As of now, it's been removed. Tomorrow, I'll show this trigger snapshot. It will be shown in this identity. It will be shown in this section, right? And those snapshots mean that this was a change. This was, you can think by aggregation, once the aggregation has done and some changes has been made to this identity, everything will comes under this trigger snapshot. And that trigger snapshot will keep changing every time another feed comes or something like that. If anyone is going to change, then definitely. You want to say that every time that snapshot is that moment of that moment, what aggregation has brought in for the identity cube that will come under the trigger snapshot. It's kind of a place we can go and see what kind of change. No, 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 no. It's not like that every activity. The moment you are going to objectively, for example, if we create lever joiner, even some native change reduction, those kind of changes can work. Every time this change comes it can be shown here. But next time when James comes, it will be overridden by the new change. Tomorrow I'll explain how we can capture, how we can try, because in lower environment, if you're going to validate anything to keep on, we will be trying whether the workflow is. Whenever there is a requirement, I create some customer flow each and every time. I won't be able to create some new user. I won't be able to multiple users. Right. What I'll do is change the trigger. This trigger snapshot will do the change and then submit it. Save it here and it will trigger the event. Right? Same identity. I'll do the multiple validation again and again. Let me open the joiner out of the box, joiner workflow. There won't be any code. Maybe I have added. I'm not sure. No. Let's talk about Vina identity. You can go to Events tab. You will check this event has been successfully completed. Now go to application account section. Some AD account access he got. Previously used to have people software HR application via that application. The IDT has been created since it's an authoritative application. Now he got one more application access like AD. The same way, you can provide a number of applications based on client requirement. We can provide some basic level access, which means Vinay can log in into PeopleSoft HR application as well. He can log in into SailPoint application as well. He can log in and Active Directory application. Now you can go to the entitlement staff. You can check. He got some basic level entitlement domain computers. Domain users, it won't be visible because it's a default group in Active Directory. If I won't add the domain users, it won't create the account itself. It will throw some null pointer exception error. That is the reason I have added. Domain computers entitlement we have given. We didn't provide any rule. For it's clear. Now, if Vinay is looking for some other application access, let's say some 5 application access. Already, if you have any business role now, Vinay is a developer. If you want to provide some 5 server access and some more application access, what we can do, we can add entitlement. His manager can submit access request and including some rules. Via that rule, some entitlement will be added and he can get access to the particular application and server as well. This is how the provisioning is going to be. Please do like, share and subscribe to our channel. For more information, contact us sales@therightuptalk.com.